The Los Angeles Rams just sent shockwaves through the entire NFL landscape by making a move that nobody saw coming for the 2026 season. By selecting Ty Simpson with the 13th overall pick, the front office has effectively signaled the end of an era before it even truly began for one specific player. Stetson Bennett, the man who was supposed to be the long-term answer behind Matthew Stafford, is suddenly facing a reality where his jersey might be traded for a clipboard or worse. This massive draft day gamble changes everything we thought we knew about the future of this historic franchise. The atmosphere in Los Angeles is electric and heavy with the weight of this decision. Fans are reeling from the news that the team invested such high draft capital in a new quarterback, while Bennett was finally starting to look like he belonged in the system. It feels like a betrayal to some and a masterstroke to others, but the emotional impact on the locker room cannot be ignored. We are looking at a situation where a young man who fought through adversity is now being pushed into the shadows by the next big thing. The Rams have always been aggressive under Sean McVay, but this move feels different because it directly challenges the progress of a player the fans have grown to love and criticize in equal measure. Every training camp rep is about to become a battleground for survival. The pressure on Bennett has reached a boiling point because he is no longer competing against his own past mistakes, but against the future of the organization itself. Ty Simpson is coming in with the pedigree of a first-round selection, which carries a weight that a late-round pick like Bennett simply cannot match in the eyes of the front office. The narratives are already spinning out of control as people wonder if Bennett was ever truly the guy or if he was just a temporary fix for a much larger problem. This is about the heart and soul of the quarterback room and who will lead this team when Matthew Stafford finally decides to hang up his cleats for good. The stakes have never been higher for the kid from Georgia as he faces his toughest test yet in the City of Angels as his career hangs in the balance right now. Looking back at the 2025 season, we saw a version of Stetson Bennett that appeared to finally grasp the complexities of the Rams' offensive scheme. It was his third preseason with the team, and the comfort level he displayed was a significant jump from anything we had seen previously. He was moving through his progressions with a level of decisiveness that suggested he was ready to take over the primary backup role with authority. The numbers reflected this growth as he finished the exhibition period with 5 passing touchdowns and a completion percentage of 70%. This was not just dinking and dunking his way down the field, but truly commanding the huddle and making plays that kept the offense moving. Perhaps the most encouraging stat was his turnover-worthy play rate, which dropped to a career-low 5.6% during that stretch. For a player whose biggest knock has always been his decision-making, this felt like a massive breakthrough that should have secured his spot for years to come. During the games where Bennett was under center, the Rams looked like a well-oiled machine, winning both of the matchups that he started. One of the highlights of that summer was a 14-play game-winning drive against the Los Angeles Chargers where Bennett showed the poise of a seasoned veteran. He threw for 324 yards in that contest and looked every bit like a player who could step in and win games if Matthew Stafford ever went down with an injury. However, we have to be honest about the limitations that still exist in his game, because even with those impressive stats, he still has a tendency to put the ball in harm's way more often than coaches would like. At the end of the day, Bennett is what he is, which is a gritty competitor who might lack the elite physical tools of a top-tier starter. The organization has spent a lot of time wondering if he can truly develop into a reliable long-term backup, or if his style of play is just too risky for a team that values ball security above all else. This internal debate is clearly what led them to pull the trigger on a new quarterback in the draft. The upcoming training camp is going to be one of the most watched battles in the entire NFL because of how the Rams have framed this quarterback competition. Sean McVay has been very public about the fact that Ty Simpson will be competing directly with Stetson Bennett for that coveted number 2 spot on the depth chart. While coaches often use the word competition to motivate players, the reality of the 13th overall pick suggests that the outcome might already be decided in the minds of the front office. You do not spend that kind of draft capital on a player unless you intend for them to be the primary backup and the eventual heir to the throne. Bennett might start the offseason as the veteran presence with more knowledge of the system, but that advantage will likely fade as camp progresses and Simpson gets more comfortable with the terminology. Even if the team lists Bennett as the backup on the official Week 1 depth chart, it feels like a formality that could change at any moment. The emotional toll of this kind of battle can be draining for a veteran who felt like he had finally earned his place. Imagine working for years to prove you belong only to have the team bring in a younger model with a much higher pedigree. It creates a tension in the locker room that everyone can feel even if they do not talk about it openly. The Rams are trying to balance the need for immediate depth with the desire to build for a future without Stafford, and Bennett is caught right in the middle of that transition. Every practice throw and every meeting room session will be scrutinized by the coaching staff as they look for reasons to justify their massive investment in Simpson. Bennett has to be perfect just to stay in the conversation, while Simpson is allowed the luxury of making rookie mistakes because of his status as a first-round pick. It is an uphill climb for the former Georgia star, and the fans are torn between wanting to see the local favorite succeed and wanting to see the new kid show off his arm talent. This dynamic is going to define the atmosphere in Thousand Oaks all summer long as these two quarterbacks fight for their professional lives. When we look at the actual tape from last season, there are 3 specific plays that tell the entire story of where Stetson Bennett stands right now. The first play shows a level of confidence that we simply had not seen from him in previous years. With a clean pocket provided by the offensive line, Bennett was able to deliver a laser of a pass to Xavier Smith while being surrounded by 3 Cowboys defenders. It was the kind of throw that required timing and trust in his eyes, and he nailed it perfectly. This version of Bennett is dangerous because he knows where the ball needs to go, and he is not afraid to pull the trigger even in tight windows. The second play on the tape highlights his ability to push the ball downfield, which was a major point of emphasis for his development. Against the Chargers, he uncorked a beautiful ball that split the cornerback and the closing safety, hitting his receiver in stride for a massive touchdown. It was a throw that many analysts would not have expected from him a year ago, and it showed that he had been working on his arm strength and deep ball accuracy. However, the third play brings us back down to earth and shows why the Rams felt the need to draft Ty Simpson. In this instance, Bennett completely missed an underneath defender and threw a ball that easily could have been intercepted. He has a habit of focusing so much on the downfield shot that he forgets to account for the linebackers and safeties lurking in the short zones. While he only had 1 official interception in that game, the tape shows 2 or 3 other instances where he put the ball in extreme danger. These lapses in judgment are what keep coaches up at night, and they are the primary reason why his future in Los Angeles is so uncertain. You can have all the confidence and arm talent in the world, but if you cannot protect the football, you will not last long in a Sean McVay offense. The contrast between his brilliant scoring drives and his head-scratching decisions is what makes him such a polarizing figure for the coaching staff. They see the potential for greatness, but they are terrified of the potential for disaster, and that fear is what ultimately drove them to find a new option in the first round of the draft. As we look toward the 2026 season, the biggest question remains what the future truly holds for Stetson Bennett. With Ty Simpson now in the building, it is clear the Rams no longer view Bennett as a potential starter or even a bridge quarterback for the post-Stafford era. Since he is entering the final year of his rookie contract, he will become a restricted free agent very soon, and the team has a difficult decision to make. Will they keep him around to help Simpson, or will they move on elsewhere? His role this year will likely be that of a mentor and a safety net, but the security he once felt is gone. It would be a surprise if he did not make the final roster this season, given the team's history of carrying 3 quarterbacks, but his long-term prospects are murkier than ever. Do you think the Rams were right to draft Ty Simpson so high, or should they have shown more faith in Stetson Bennett after his strong preseason showing? We want to hear your thoughts on this quarterback drama, so please leave a comment below. If you love the Rams and want to stay updated on every roster move, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support means everything to us, and we cannot wait to bring you more great Rams coverage of the best team in the entire world of professional football in Los Angeles.